Hello students, in our last lecture we covered alimentary tract and in today's lecture we will cover digestive glands. Students, digestive glands associated with the alimentary canal include salivary glands, liver and pancreas. First we will cover salivary glands. There are three pairs of salivary glands. In the figure you may see there are three types of salivary gland. This is parotid gland, also known as cheek gland because of its location in the cheek area. Sublingual gland is called sublingual because of its location under the tongue. And third one is submandibular gland because it is located under the mandible. Mandible is the bone of lower jaw. So, depending upon the location of the glands, they have been named sublingual glands and submandibular gland. These glands secrete salivary juice into the buccal cavity. So the digestive secretion which these glands secrete is known as salivary juice. Similarly, the glands in the stomach, the juice they will liberate will be called gastric juice. Now liver. Liver is the largest gland of the body, weighing about 1.2 to 1.5 kilogram in an adult human. लीवर सबसे बड़ी ग्लैंड है बॉडी की जिसका वेट 1.2 से 1.5 किलोग्राम तक है. एंड यू मे बी आस्क्ड ए क्वेश्चन, which one of the following is the largest gland of the body? And you may be given options: liver, pancreas, spleen, stomach, etc. And then you have to tick liver. It is situated in the abdominal cavity just below the diaphragm. You know, diaphragm is the partition between the thorax and abdomen. And on the right side, just below the diaphragm, is liver. If suppose this is the liver, if we draw the diagram, we will draw it like this. So liver is located just below the diaphragm in the right upper part of the abdominal cavity. Liver has two lobes. If you see in this figure, there is a notch. This represents the partition of the liver. This divides the liver into two lobes. This is left lobe and this one is right lobe. So liver is divided into two lobes. One is left lobe, second is right lobe. Next, the hepatic lobules are the structural and functional units of the liver, containing hepatic cells arranged in the form of cords. If you will take a piece of liver and will see under the microscope, you will see the structure like this. This structure is of hepatic lobule, and just like the cell is the structural and functional unit of the body, this hepatic lobule is the structural and functional unit of the liver. In this lobule there are cells, liver cells, which are called hepatocytes. Hepato is for liver and cytes for cell. Liver cells are called hepatocytes. These hepatocytes are arranged in cord-like structures. You are seeing here the hepatocytes are arranged in cord-like structures. The purple color cells are hepatocytes. They are arranged in cord-like structure. Each lobule is covered by a thin connective tissue sheath called Gleason's capsule. And this lobule is covered on its outside with a connective tissue sheath, and this sheath is named as Gleason's capsule. So I have marketed the Gleason's capsule here. So this outer connective tissue sheath of hepatic lobule is called Gleason's capsule. Now, hepatic cells secrete bile which passes through the hepatic ducts. As I have told you, liver is made up of two lobes. One is left lobe and second is right lobe. From left lobe, left hepatic duct comes out. From right lobe, right hepatic duct comes out. लेफ्ट लोब से लेफ्ट हेपेटिक डक्ट आती है, राइट लोब से राइट हेपेटिक डक्ट आती है. The two hepatic ducts join together to form common hepatic duct. The two hepatic ducts join together to form common hepatic duct. And through this common hepatic duct, bile enters into the gallbladder through the cystic duct. And is stored and concentrated in a thin muscular sac called the gallbladder. So this gallbladder is a muscular sac-like organ in which bile gets stored. Whenever the food enters into the duodenum, this gallbladder gets contracted and the bile juice comes out of this gallbladder and travel to the duodenum through this common bile duct. The bile duct and the pancreatic duct join together to form common hepatopancreatic duct. So this bile duct and the pancreatic duct which comes out of the pancreas, this yellow portion is pancreas and this light green portion is pancreatic duct which joins the common bile duct to form the hepatopancreatic duct. This is hepatopancreatic duct. Hepato is for liver for the duct which is coming out of the liver, and pancreatic is for pancreas for the pancreatic duct. So the duct coming out of the liver and the pancreatic duct both join to form the hepatopancreatic duct. So the bile duct and the pancreatic duct join together to form common hepatopancreatic duct. The common hepatopancreatic duct opens into the duodenum where it is guarded by sphincter of Oddi. This common hepatopancreatic duct opens out in the duodenum where it is guarded by a sphincter which is called sphincter of Oddi. And as I have mentioned in the previous lectures, what does the sphincter do? Sphincter will prevent reflux of the food from duodenum to the hepatopancreatic duct, but will allow the passage of bile and pancreatic juices from the hepatopancreatic duct to the duodenum. Now, if we take the pancreas is an elongated organ situated between the limbs of U-shaped duodenum. Duodenum is C-shaped or U-shaped, and these are its limbs. So in between these limbs, pancreas is situated. So what is the location of pancreas? Pancreas is located in between the limbs of the U-shaped duodenum. Next, it is a compound gland, both exocrine and endocrine. Students, exocrine glands are those glands which secrete their juices into a cavity, just like the pancreatic duct from the pancreas. So the pancreas secretes its juices into the duodenum through pancreatic duct, but endocrine glands are those glands which secrete its secretions directly into the blood. But here pancreas is both exocrine and endocrine gland. The exocrine portion secretes an alkaline pancreatic juice containing enzymes into the duodenum. So pancreatic gland secrete pancreatic juice into the duodenum. So it is exocrine. And the endocrine portion secretes hormones, insulin and glucagon directly in the blood. And it also produces hormones, insulin and glucagon, which are directly secreted into the blood. So it is also endocrine in nature. So pancreas is a compound gland. It is both exocrine and endocrine gland. Students, I am finishing my lecture here, and in our next class, we will cover digestion part of the food. Students, if you have any doubts regarding the topic, mention it in the comment box. We will try to answer you as much as possible. Thank you.